And we are live with the round 15 episode of SCP Q&A. I am, of course, Matt, Supercoach God, and I'm joined by Mick and Damon again. Introduce yourselves, guys.
Yes, hello, Joyce. I don't know about Supercoach God. I might be going a little bit too far there, but yeah, maybe some sort of I don't know. What's less than a god? I don't know.
Demigod?
Mortal is what I was thinking of. Mortal, yes. Supercoach Mortal.
Well, he's definitely done well this week, and I think his head has expanded considerably this week after beating me. We spoke about that in our first show, but obviously, we'll speak about it again. Congratulations! That was your birthday present from all of us.
It was. Happy birthday, Joyce.
Supercoach page.
Hope you enjoyed it. I actually posted on his Facebook wall saying, "Happy birthday, and I hope you have a good day. Better than the day we're going to have when the scores are released, because we're going to go shies." And he actually beat all of us. So there you go. Yeah. Good birthday present.
Yeah, I got, what was it, 2404, so not bad. And Paige, of course, is chocolate hat again. She's owned it, even though she got 22.99. So just remind everyone what you two guys got.
Yes, well, I did score, let me find it here, 2,307. So I narrowly missed out on the chocolate hat by eight points. I didn't even realise it was that close. Yeah. There we go.
I, funnily enough, got 2,368, which was the third highest in our entire league. Joyce, you actually got the highest in our league, and I'm still ninth. It's unbelievable. I'm probably about 1,000 spots ahead of most of the top 8, and I'm still sitting at 9th spot. So just keep losing these close ones. I lost one to him, this guy here, and I lost one to you now, Joyce. Oh, it's just.
Where was the promo photo, by the way? I want that up on the Facebook page. The one of me beating you that we took at the start of the year. Dude, I'm like 12th in the league. It's ridiculous. I have much better time.
I'm like ridiculous. And I'm like first, which isn't ridiculous at all.
He's first.
All right. Anyway, moving on. You guys talked about the must-haves in the show earlier in the week, and if you haven't seen it, it's up on our YouTube channel, so check it out. But today we'll be talking about the Smokies and point of differences, and we'll start off with the defenders. So I'm talking about Grant Birchall. He's priced at 467,600, averaging 92 at the moment, and a break-even of 77. His next 3 are against Gold Coast, North Melbourne, and Adelaide. And he has been a really consistent contributor over many years. He usually gets, his 90s plus every week. Season averages of 94, 94, 92, and 92 so far this season. So if you want consistency, which you do heading into finals, then Birchall's a great get. And his last 5 average is 96, but it's really coming up to the business end of the season now. He's really dangerous. The Hawks are really dangerous. He's one of the established players, so he's going to keep spot. Many people have gone for him as a matter of security over style. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I like him. I always like to get players into my side that are consistent performers, and he's definitely one of them. I mean, his history backs that up, definitely. And I've had him in previous years, and I was thinking about getting him in at the time when I got Burgoyne in, but I was lured in by Burgoyne's high scoring at that stage and thought, he's consistently scoring high scores, so I might as well opt for Burgoyne, and has come back to bite me in the arse a bit, because Burgoyne sort of dipped below his consistent scores there, whereas Birchall has kept up with his consistency. So he's a great get, and I'd definitely look at him.
Yeah, I opted for Birchall that week when everyone else was going for Burgoyne. That was when we traded out Mitchell, the first week of the buys, I'm pretty sure, and that was a great week. That week I got in Birchall and Malcheski, so that was a tasty week for me. And those two guys have been definite proven performers in my backline, and they're sitting nicely. Birchall's my fifth defender as well. So it's pretty good to have a guy who's consistently getting those sort of mid-90s sitting as your 5th defender. So if you can get him, then perfect. And Birchall's the guy. So
and it also helps as well with your league matchups as well, knowing that you've got a guy who's going to bust out scores consistently over 90. It really does help. And as opposed to if you've got someone like Burgoyne, like I said, his scoring's been up and down as of late. So if you come up against your arch rival, there's no guarantee that he's going to score around his average. Whereas with Birchall, he's going to score out about his average. So that always helps as well.
Yep. And before we get on to our next person, just really quickly, if you are watching, be sure to interact. This is Q&A after all. So just click the little annotation that says Q&A, and you'll be able to pop in a question there, and we'll answer it later in the show. But moving right on, Shannon Hearn will talk about, he's priced at $500,000 and $500,700. Averaging 92 as well, break even of 47, and his next three are against Freo, Sydney, and Brisbane. So two toughish ones, and then a bit of an easier one. He had an injury scare earlier on, so his lower price and lower average is really due to that injury-affected score of 7. But yeah, he's got scores of 80 to 100 plus since he's really come back, and if you get rid of the 7 from that average, he's actually averaging 102 across the season. So he's definitely a point of difference. He's a bit of a bargain as well. I've gone for Heath Shaw, who served me really well last week, and he's only priced at the same as Shannon. He's priced at 1,000 more, and he's averaging 95.25. His recent form has been really good. So it really just depends which one you like. I know I keep saying it, but pick someone you like, and it generally works out. But what do you guys think?
What do you reckon?
Oh, Shannon Hurt, he's not been on my radar at all. And I know you guys spoke about him a few weeks ago. And I was just thinking, these guys are idiots. What are they talking about? But to be honest, I seriously, I'm kicking myself that I didn't consider him more when he was what was he around $400,000 like 2-3 weeks ago. And if you had gotten him then, you would have been very happy at the moment, because again, he's like you said, 102 is his real average, considering that an injury affected game doesn't really. I mean, it does count in terms of actual scoring, but that's huge. They're huge scores, and if he's doing it consistently, then he's definitely a point of difference as well.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. I was looking at getting him in. Another one that I missed out on and opted for Yench instead, and Yench ended up backfiring because he got concussed in his first game. But yeah, I mean, he's good, and as you say, if you subtract the 7 from his average, he scored 99, 97, 101, 88, 111, 75, which was against Hawthorn, and then 157 against Gold Coast and 92 against St Kilda last week. So he's doing quite well, and he's performing averaging around the. Well, he is averaging 91 at the moment, but over his past 3 so far, he's averaging 108 and 104 in his past 5 as well. So he's getting some consistent high scores there. So he'd be one that I'd definitely consider, and consider especially because he's a bargain.
And moving on to the midfielders, talking about Nathan Jones. What can you guys tell me about him?
Oh, my golden boy, Nathan Jones. He's 551,000, averaging 108. He's got a break even of 103, so expect him to go down in price this week. So potentially next week will be a very good week to get him. But saying that though, he has been pumping out scores lately of around about 120. So don't sort of bank on it. His X3 is Western Bulldogs, Freo, and Geelong. And I guess this season he's taken his game to a new level. It could be partly because of the captaincy. Or one of the other theories is that he just really wants to join the elite bald head crew with Gaz and the likes, or he just wants to join the elite tattooed arm crew as well, with Beams and Swanee and etc. So, I mean, either way, it's working, and he's a great point of difference for me. I think when I got him in, only 9,000 people owned him, which is ridiculous considering I think he's had 5 games. Look, all right, yeah, he's had 5 or 6 games under 100, but where's the stats? Of those, he's had 6 scores under 100, half of those under 90, but only 1 below 80. So he's been fairly consistent in that sense. And out of the 7 matches in which he scored over 100, 6 of them have also been over 120.
Wow.
So, Bo, Joyce, beat that, buddy.
I did last week, actually.
Well done.
Classic.
Well done. You played that straight down.
That was your birthday present, you know that.
That's right. Don't won't happen this week. Your birthday only
No.
runs for 1 week, so it's all right.
No, I'm actually celebrating this week because I had exams on last week, so I couldn't actually go out and celebrate. So this weekend is the real one. Another midfielder talking about Callan Ward. Tell us about that, Damon.
Yes. Now, I was talking to Mick about this when we filmed the first part of this episode, and this man, Callan Ward, is priced at $617,000, and he's averaging 116. And another bloke, I sound like a broken record, but another bloke that I wanted to get on. I actually tweeted about it at the time, and it was the time when I got into my side, Selwood and Dane Swan. And I thought, I'll go for Swanee instead. You know, he's a consistent performer, and look what happened. He's kind of gone downhill and hasn't really met expectations. Whereas Ward, he's averaging 116. His break-even at the moment is 123, and his next three, he's got Sydney, Adelaide, and Freo, so a bit of a mixed bag. But despite that, even though he's playing in a crappy side, he's still busting out these massive scores, which just goes to show that he's a quality player. And he's only dipped below 100-plus scores in 2 out of 13 games, and one of those was where he was tagged by Picken at the Dogs, and the next one he actually just missed out in the 100 with the score of 92. So he's got a huge ceiling, and he's consistent as well. So both ticks in my book for that.
We spoke about him as well from the start of the season. We were saying, I think it was around about round 3 or round 4, and we were saying, imagine if you'd started the season with him and Treloar. Because at that point, Treloar had got the scores of, say, 140, 120, and 110 or something. And then, say, Callan Ward had got similar scores as well. We were saying, geez, if you had those two from the start of the season, you'd be right up there. And along with Mumford as well.
Yeah.
And McRae had a really good start to the year as well. You could have him as well. I still have him.
I got rid of him probably about 2 months ago.
He's not going badly enough that I need to. Like, he's still getting 95, 105 every week, you know. So yeah, why not? Moving on to the rucks and the most Jewish name in the AFL, Todd Goldstein. Who can tell me a bit about him?
Isn't it ironic though that he has gold in his surname as well?
That's why it's Jewish. 532,400. He's averaging 94 in the last 3 weeks. Get this, Joyce, and I said this to you guys before the show. Because I traded out Sandylands for him because I just assumed that Sandylands would be rested. Because apparently,
you know what they say about assuming?
Hey,
you know what they say about assuming?
Well, no, I actually took that from Paige because Paige said, according to her, if you look back a few episodes, Paige said from her good source at Fremantle that
tomato.
that Aaron Sandilands would be rested on either side of the bye. So I figured if he's going to miss at least one of the games on either side of the bye, and at that point I was going to bank myself around 80 grand, I think it was, and also be able to. I think that was the week that I was also able to upgrade someone like Dom Tyson up to Selwood or something. So I think at the time my reasoning was that I'd lose maybe 20 points a week with Goldstein and Sandilands, but I'd be gaining around about 60 points with Selwood. So it turns out in the last 3 weeks that Goldstein has outscored Sandilands in 2 of those, including that one where he got 166, and I think Sandilands got around about 90 or 80. And then last week, the week just gone, Sandilands got 111 and Goldstein got 100. So, I mean, I haven't really lost out that badly, and it's like I said, it allowed me that freedom to get in that big midfielder. So, in my book, he's got all ticks so far.
Maybe.
And,
And
what about this bloke here? Would you reverse it? Having looked at now the other players you could get in, like Nick Naitanui, we're about to speak about.
You know what I really should have done? I should have gotten Nick Naitanui instead of Jamar at the time. But
because Nick Nat was quite cheap, and now he's priced at 506,700. He's averaging 84. But don't let that fool you. It may seem quite low, but he did start the season in what we call crappy form. And from then he only scored, I think it was he's only scored 100 in 2 out of his 9 games, so that kind of sums it up.
Yeah.
But as of recent times, he's started to pile on the 100-plus scores, and he's actually scored over 100 in 3 out of his past 4 games, with scores of 113, 116, 142, and 95. And amazingly, he's only owned by 10% of people in the competition, so he's a great point of difference still.
You know the funny thing, at the point when I got Jamar, he was, Nat knew he was actually cheaper than Jamar, but he was just scoring so horribly. I think he had a run of maybe 60s, mid-60s, and I was thinking, I can't get rid of Brody Grundy for another guy who's just been getting 60s. So,
and what did Jamar do?
He got 2 100s in a row, and then he just been going at 70. So look, I mean, still better than 60s, but 70s is not good enough. And luckily, I got rid of him now for Mumford, which is, so everyone's happy, right?
Not too bad.
Everyone's happy. Moving on to the forwards, Stefan Martin. I think he's way too likely to leave the side and scoring affected, but prove me wrong. It's like, try and convince me.
All right, so we've got 3 points. We'll come up with 3 points to sort of convince you, Joyce. Convince you.
I don't know about this.
So look, the first one is a decent downgrade option from Dane Zorko.
I think a hamburger is a decent downgrade option from Zorko at the moment.
Are you going to trade him out again, David? Are you going to trade him out?
Funnily enough, I was looking at Zorko and saying, well, he served a purpose. And I realised he really hasn't, because he's actually gone down by $14,000 since the start of the season.
Yeah, that's true.
So at the start of the season, he was $14,000 more. So I don't know what this guy's been doing. He's just been the most inconsistent player. So taking that into consideration, Stefan Martin is a good downgrade option. He's sitting at 315,000 at the moment, and he's got an average of 103. So he's burst out onto the scene, scores of 112, 102, and 95. Secondly, the retirement of Jonathan Brown, big one, especially as a forward. So Stefan Martin, you'd assume that they'd keep him in.
Yeah, well, I think when Lundberg comes back in to the side in a couple of weeks, you'd think that Martin would be pushed back more into the forward line and switch between both the ruck and forward. So there you go. But what will it do to his scoring? That's the question.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess that's still.
But at least he's got a spot.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, as long as he's playing, he's going to do better than Zorko. And then third, obviously, is that forward ruck option. And I know right now, at this point of the season, you've got the 2 big ruckmen, and you're still looking for that third one. And a lot of people have Derrick's, and he's sort of on the cusp at the moment. So even a good downgrade option for Derrick's, maybe. I don't know how much Derrick's is, actually.
Yeah, he's 300,000.
So Martin's actually more expensive. So not a good downgrade option, but yeah, definitely good downgrade option from Zorko if you're willing to take the risk. But like I said, he can't. Even if he does start to drop in scores, Zorko's just been that inconsistent. He's not an elite forward, and having him in your forward line is just a bit of a joke. And if you can get 100,000 for him and then upgrade somebody else elsewhere in your team, then so be it.
Yeah, he's got that forward ruck compatibility as well. So you were saying to me the other night when we were filming the first episode that if you've got someone like Thurlow in your side still, he's just sitting there and you won't play a game this season, still on the rookie list. At least if you get Stefan Martin in your forward line, that you can swap him with Thurlow, and if you get an injury to Mumford or one of your first rucks, so at least then he can go in and provide some ruck coverage if the case is that you don't have another ruck bench.
And I'm sure most people probably have someone like, by now they probably have someone like Kirsten or Honeychurch in their forward line. Honeychurch obviously finally getting a game. So, they've probably got good cover in their forward line who can come in and take Martin's spot if he needs to go into the ruck. So that's always good to have that extra ruckman because they're obviously very hard to come by.
Yeah, I still don't like him. I think, yeah, I mean, with Brown being retired now, he's going to get the number 1 defender when he does go forward. So, or a better defender when he goes forward. So his scoring will be affected in that way. And I think when Leuenberger comes back in, that when he's forced to play as, you say the Lee Brown role, then I don't think it will be a very good option, and I think Zorko will score better than him. And I don't think this is the time of the season to be making these kind of risky trades for 100,000. That's just me, though. I'm keeping Zorko. But moving on to
Ride
Luke
the wave,
Parker. Oh.
or ride the tsunami, as I'd call it, probably in Zorko's case.
Mm.
Yeah, Luke Parker, he's priced at 485,000 even, so he's a complete bargain. He's one that I've been eyeing off, and one that I initially had in my side, but guess I gave him the flick for. Zorko and Tom Mitchell. Nice little upgrade. So that has got me again. Yeah, he's averaging 100 at the moment. His break-even's 106, so quite manageable, so he still could go up in price after this weekend. And his next three, he's got, well, look at this, he's got the Giants, the Eagles, and Carlton. So a couple of easy beats, probably all easy beats there at the moment, and probably should maintain his average. So if you want him, I'd probably consider grabbing him right now. And the one thing that I like about Parker is I compare him to Birchall, who we spoke of from the top, in terms of he doesn't have the biggest ceiling, but at least you know he's going to give you consistent scores. Yeah. And he's consistently scored around above the 90 mark, or around about the 90 mark, with a couple going over 100. But yeah, I think he's a great bargain considering that, and he's still a great point of difference as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think actually the last week, sorry, not last week, the week before was his lowest score, and I think it was around about 80 something.
Yeah.
Then he followed that up with 121 previous the week just gone. So he's definitely one that's been exactly like Birchall. He's just that consistent performer. He is the one in the forward line who is that consistent performer, who is the Birchall. So if you have Birchall in your back line, Parker in your forward line, you know you've got those guys who are just going to be consistently performing around about that 90 to 100 mark. So security over flashiness, I think.
Exactly
right, Joyce.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like Parker. I don't have the trades to bring him in. If I had unlimited trades, sure, why not? But speaking of security over flashiness, let's talk about our trades, because you don't have many left, Mick, and Damon, you're not much better. So what are you doing this week?
You want to go first?
No, I'll go last. Sorry.
You go last, because he probably doesn't have any trades to work.
Sorry. Before we do that, just in case you're watching, be sure to interact and ask questions. We've allocated some time at the end of the show to answer whatever questions you ask, so just click the Q&A button there. But moving on to the trades, I'm doing nothing this week, absolutely nothing. I'm sitting on 5 trades. I don't like that lower number, but you two don't seem to have that fear. I mean, I would need to downgrade first in order to get a really good player, even though I've got 170 grand in my salary cap. And I think Ambrose can still go up. McGovern can definitely still go up. Probably Derek's would be the only one that could be downgraded. Hallahan will eventually come in again, I suppose. And I'm not... I don't have a itchy trigger finger like you do with Hanley and Zorko. So, yeah, my team's not moving this week.
Who's your other bench guy in your midfield?
Akers.
Oh, Akers. He'll come back in, you'd think, so that's not too bad there.
But the backline is Buse and Joel Tippett.
No.
Oh.
Buse is in this week.
Yeah.
Is he? Oh, yay, buddy!
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen Langford there languishing next to Giorgio. And Giorgio's an emergency, so he's breaking his way back to score those 40 scores.
I think a lot of people are in the same boat, though, with having very little bench cover at the moment, with Tippett, Akers, Curry even injured, even though Curry's probably not going to get a game again, and Sam Lloyd being ridiculously unlucky. What the hell is going on there, Joyce? He's been able to... But he's a good player, and Richmond aren't exactly a good team, so I don't know why they're holding out. I don't know why they're holding out their good players.
Oh, good news, by the way. We see the late changes for the match tonight, and Buse is not the substitute, so money for me.
No.
It's Caddy and Merritt are the subs. Zach Merritt is.
Caddy again. That bloke, seriously. I don't think he'll ever shed the sub vest, whether he starts or ends the sub.
He had such promise at the start of the season. Yeah. But anyway, Damon, what are you doing?
Yes, what am I doing now? I've got one less trade than you, Joyce. So you're catching up to me, but I'll probably go ahead by another couple. Make some distance between us after this week because yes, my trigger finger is quite itchy at the moment. I didn't trade last week, and that absolutely killed me. It ate me up inside because I was just trembling. I wanted to trade anyone. But yeah, this week I'm looking at even though my team is complete. Let me just have a look here at my side. My team is complete, but I've got players like Cochin and Swan who now present as the weakest links, and I still have the tendency to want to strengthen my side, despite the fact I've only got 4 trades. And Swan is sort of in the same boat as Cochin. They're not scoring anything above 100, but they're consistently scoring around about the 80 to 90 mark. So it's not too bad there, but
Not good enough.
It's not good enough. Exactly, it's not good enough. Even though it is Swanee and he has got the reputation, he's just lost it this season. And I did bring Zorko back in, and he hurt me last week, and probably justified why I got rid of him in the first place because he only scored 47. But now I'm looking at trading in either Nat 5 or Robbie Gray. What do you reckon? What should I do?
Well, I mean, personally, I already have Nat 5, and he has served me very well. I got him in last week, and he scored 143. So, I mean, he's a proven performer, and I know you're worried about Robbie Gray holding up his body. So I mean, for you, I'd go for Nat 5. Saying that, go for Robbie Gray.
Yeah. See, I've only got 25 grand in the bank, so I'd need to use a trade in order to downgrade. So I'm looking at either maybe downgrading an Ambrose to a Kirsten or even a Honeychurch, who I think is going to burst into the scene, considering that he was the highest Supercoach scorer in the TAC Cup under 18 champs. And that'll give me about 100. Well, Ambrose will give me about 180 grand to fund the upgrade. And yeah, probably the players in my sides at the moment are probably Swanee. I don't want to use another trade on Zorko again. That'd just be a comedy of errors right there. But yeah, probably trying to get Robbie Gray in or an at 5. I'll probably be a coin flip, but probably go for Robbie Gray just purely because he's a mid forward, and I've got Shenton in the midfield at the moment. He's a mid forward, so I can use that to my advantage as well. So I'm probably looking to do that.
Yeah. Cool.
How about you, Mick?
Yeah.
Well, so I've lived by the mantra, just
live by the sword, almost.
burn the trades, get the best team as soon as possible, and deal with the consequences if I get injuries. So I figure my whole team cannot get injured. So I made 2 trades this week. I only had 3 before I made them. It was for a purpose though. So Hanley has just annoyed me. I got rid of him when he got injured. I had him before that, got rid of him when he got injured. I traded him out at the time for Yench. Then I traded Yench out when he got injured.
Oh, Lord.
And now I've traded, I think I traded back in Hanley at that point. And now I've traded Hanley again for Yench. So there is method to my madness.
There's not. There's no method. This is insane.
Yench at the moment is sitting at 390,000. I'm not losing anything.
A trade.
I'm not losing anything points-wise by trading Hanley for Yench.
What he's losing is his mind.
Security, that's what you're losing.
I am gaining $100,000, which I can then spend to upgrade Jamar to Mumford, which I guarantee will serve me well in the future. So right now my team is complete. I better hope so because I've only got 1 trade left. So and I feel like I'll use that next round.
That reminds me of the action films where there's massive shootout. You check the chambers. Oh, how many bullets you got? I got 1 bullet left. What are you going to use it on? I think you should use it on yourself. Yeah. Because your team's going to self-destruct.
Well, look. I mean, I didn't jump on the Cochin bandwagon at the start of the season. I instead went for Liberatore, who has served me well. I didn't jump on the Swanee bandwagon. I didn't jump on the what are you doing, Joyce? I didn't jump on the what's his name? Geelong player.
The what's his name bandwagon.
That guy who let everyone
Steve
down.
Johnson.
Steve Johnson.
Steve Johnson, yeah. Yeah, that guy. I didn't jump on him either. And I
That
decided to
no-name.
go for Nathan Jones. So we'll see how we go. Like I said, same thing. I'm living by if it works out, I'm a genius. If it doesn't, I'm an idiot. So whatever, I can live with that.
You live it every day of your life, so it's all right.
Shut up, Chris.
All right, we'll get into the questions now. We've got 15 minutes for them. First one from Nick. I'm going to call you Kube because that's how it's spelt. Langdon to Hibbert, a risky trade, or wait until next week and get Cade Simpson? Simpson was really disappointing on the weekend, but I mean, Langdon's playing. There's
word that he might be a late out though, because you remember.
Is that from Paige? Miss Sandlands is going to be rested around the bye, or is that actually someone else?
I'm not too sure. Yeah.
I did Langdon to Shaw last week, so I'm very happy with myself. I don't know, Hibbert, he's been all right the past few weeks. He's been getting 90s and he got 106, I think, on the weekend, but he hasn't been a superstar by any means. Maybe get Shaw or something like that. I think Shaw's been in much better form. So yeah, that's my thoughts. You guys, who would you bring in for Langdon? Maybe one of our smokies?
Yeah, perhaps one of the smokies. I like Shannon Hearn, so I'd probably opt for him. But just looking at Simo, I didn't realise he dropped that much. He dropped 59,400 on the weekend, and his break-even's 175. So he'd be an absolute bargain next week if you're willing to wait, because he's projected to go down 42,000.
Whoa.
Yep.
So I'd probably, with that taken into account, I'd definitely wait a week and go for Simpson, because he'll be looking at a price of about 450-ish to get him in. So that's a bargain.
Yeah. Yeah, I second that. Perfect. Cade Simpson. Done. Easy. Just wait till next week. That could be a good option for my final trade.
Oh, here we go.
Definitely not.
If you don't use it on injuries.
You're going to get a full team of injuries.
That's a joke.
How many times have you said my team is complete, by the way, and then you've gone and used 2 trades the next week? Honestly.
My team is complete now.
Okay. I'm gonna hold you. I want to get you to sign something saying my team is complete. Put your name on the dotted line, and then never trade unless it's an injury. But there's not much you can do anyway, so you only got 1 trade. Next question. From Chris Canning. He has 4 trades at the moment, so better than you 2 combined. Should I trade Ruffy for Buddy or keep Ruffy? Keep Ruffy. That's a sideways trade.
Yeah. Buddy's performing quite well at the moment, but I mean Ruffy has as well. He's more up and down than Buddy has a tendency to go haywire at times and score low scores. So I'd say it'd be a waste of a trade and too much of a sideways trade for me. Unless you're trading someone like a Robbie Gray for Ruffy, then I could probably understand that. But there's not much difference, in my opinion, between Ruffy and Buddy.
Yeah, but saying that though, there's still the argument that you don't want too many key forwards in your forward line. So if you've already got Brent Harvey, Dusty Martin, and you got Robbie Gray and maybe even Wingard, then definitely I reckon maybe go for it.
If you're gonna leave the trades, go for it.
I'm just trying to give the other side of the argument.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
I'm very happy with Buddy actually. He scored quite well even with no Tippett playing last week, and now Tippett's back. So yeah, good job, Buddy. Next one from Chanuka Kankamge. Sorry about that. Downgrade Hallahan or Derek's first? Ooh. Derek's is playing, but he scored quite low, so his break-even's pretty high, so his price will go down. But, I mean, if you trade him out, then you have 0 backup, right? So, yeah. If you need money, Derek's. If you need security, then downgrade Hallahan. That's me.
Yeah, I'd say Derek's probably has more chance of coming back into the side, considering that he's played pretty much all year apart from this week. And Hallahan, I don't like the fact that a lot of players like Ben Ross has debuted, O'Brien as well for the Hawks, and they're getting games ahead of him. So I'm not too sure how he's performing in the VFL, but I'd say it must be that crash height, seeing as though he's not getting a game. And he was performing all right when he was on the side, Hallahan, but I think you'll find it hard to get back into the side, especially with Sewell now back there. So yeah, I think I'd probably downgrade Hallahan to someone like a Honeychurch, and then at least with Honeychurch, he's got a dual position status, so there's that other aspect to it as well. But Derek's, you could probably downgrade him to that bloke. What's his name?
Brown
at North. Yeah. But yeah, his spot on the side is probably questionable. But yeah, those are really the only two options. But I'll probably opt for Hallahan first.
I agree. Yeah, like I was going to say exactly that. Derek's the other one you can really downgrade him to is Brown, and who knows if he'll keep his spot. I think Derek's has had better luck this season so far, so definitely want to keep him in the side.
Could do your changes on.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sorry, my stepdad's coming in and he wants me to help him out with this Supercoach side. That's right, we're nearly done.
Anyway, yeah, you're the one to go.
I've made him addicted to Supercoach as well. So
that doesn't happen at Bar 94.
No,
I tell you.
Of course. So these are this is behind the scenes sort of stuff. Yeah.
Moving on, we've got like 5 or 6 questions left, so we got to do rapid fire. Looking to upgrade Langdon to either Malcheski, Hibbert, Hearn, Simpson, or Shaw. Who would you recommend? Malcheski or Shaw is my recommendation.
Yes, I'd also go Malcheski. I've already got him, so my only options for me personally would be either Hearn, Simpson, or Shaw. And out of those 3, I'd probably go Simpson next week because he's going to be the cheapest, and he has been pretty consistent this season. So don't take his 34 or whatever he got this week to heart, because think of it just as brilliant that he got that low because now he's going down. So yeah, jump on Simpson, I reckon.
Yeah, very similar to the other question that was posed to us before. Yeah, I'm going to say, stick with Simpson like what you said, Mick. And 32 was his lowest score, and before that it was 76, and then 61 and then 76. But he had a run of form there where he scored 128, 104, 98, 109, 145, 144, and 112. So he's got the high ceiling and consistency there, and he's had a couple of bad weeks, but Carlton's had a bloody 15 or 14 bad weeks, and he's still performed well during that. So I'd say go for Simpson, wait a week. Otherwise, if you can't wait, I would opt for Hearn for the value, or Shaw, or if you've got the money, go for Malcheski.
Next up from Fiona Cannon, Zach Merritt's on the bench as cover, potentially cash for upgrades, but he's getting the green vest now and has a break-even of 100. Should I keep him as emergency cover or cash him in now, and who to downgrade for a cash cow? I only have 5 trades left. Yes, downgrade for Honeychurch. That's what I would do.
Yep, Honeychurch or Kirsten.
No, it's Zach Merritt though, so you can't really do...
Oh, in the midfield?
Yeah.
Yeah, Honeychurch, yep.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah. Sean Wilson upgrading Langford. Who's the best value defender out of Bartel, McVeigh, and Brodie Smith? If we started the season, Brodie Smith, but now
Bartel.
McVeigh? I'd say McVeigh.
Yeah,
I like Bartel better than McVeigh, but yeah.
Value, I think, is McVeigh. If you're paying top dollar, go for Bartel.
Yep. Second that.
Yep. From JND Gamer, is it worth jumping on Jenches at defender number 6 or forking out a bit of extra cash for Mackie/Shaw? Already got him, Hanley, Burgoyne, Swallow, McVeigh, and I'm upgrading Langdon. Well, nice backline, by the way. Shaw, I'd say you go for Shaw. Jench is too up and down for mine. Then again, Shaw is as well, but Shaw's been better this year.
The only reason you get Jench is, like I did, if you can upgrade somewhere else, that is going to bring you, better than if you got Shaw. Does that make sense? So if you got
better scoring out.
Yeah, better scoring.
Using that. Yeah, I'd go with Shaw. Yeah.
Dan Condon's asking, I have done Ryan Griffin to Callan Ward and Will Langford to Zach Jones as a cash grab. Should I do this, or are there better options? Sounds fine to me. It's just me.
Yeah, I reckon that's good. Langford, I've got Langford myself, and I can't see him getting back into the side now that Shields back in the side as well. Um, yeah, Callum Ward I love. Yep, that's a very good trade. Zach Jones, a lot of people are saying now that he'll get a couple more games, seeing as though Reshaw's out of the side. So yeah, potentially he could. There's no one really else to trade in apart from maybe Abuse or Litherland, but he's a bit more expensive, and even still, his spot in the Hawks side is a bit questionable.
Yep. Exactly what you just said. Yeah, Callum Ward is gun and good point of difference. So definitely do it.
Yep. From Watto Dons, is Suckling worth keeping? Looking to trade him out for Fife and move McVeigh to the defense. Great plan. I love that plan. Do it.
Yeah.
And that's good. That's what you want to start doing at this point of the season if you haven't already started doing it. Moving your forwards, your backs that are also midfielders around, and experiment with it. Who you can get sort of who's better value, and this is definitely the one to go for.
Yeah. Anthony Poljarevich, sorry about that. I'm looking at upgrading Langdon to Bartel and downgrading Cochin to Honeychurch. I can then move Miles on field from the bench and rotate Honeychurch and Shenton between the forwards and midfielders. This leaves me with 5 trades, 220k in the bank. Do I pull the trigger? Langdon to Bartel I like. Cochin to Honeychurch. If you need the money, I wouldn't do that yet. I would do... I don't know. I think Cochin will score big this week just because it's against St Kilda and he tends to do quite well. And then Richmond have Brisbane the week after that. So.
Cochin will score big. Never say that.
No, I think he will. Like he's won the Ian Stewart medal once or twice, I think. And that's what they're fighting for tomorrow night. So. But then again, Miles could score very big as well on the field. So.
In downgrading Cochin to Honeychurch, he's pretty much saying that Miles is going to replace Cochin on the field, yeah?
Yeah.
But then again, though, he's got the 5 trades left, 220k in the bank. Next round, he can upgrade, who was it? Shenton, who's got a break even of, 40, I think? So yeah. Shenton's definitely going to go up. He can easily upgrade Shenton to whoever he wants, so...
Yeah. No, that's a good one. I think you could do that because Miles is playing very well. I think he'll play extremely well against St Kilda. Bartel's always good to get in, and next round, it seems like he'll have a lot of money next round. So you move Shenton into whatever line it is that needs upgrading next round, and then you can just do a trade there. So you can go up to Robbie Gray or Boomer Harvey if you wanted to in the forward line, or you can go to Ward, for example, in the midfield or something like that.
Well, I mean, potentially in that case, he'd be able to trade, say, Shenton out for Fife or someone, probably even someone who's a bit lower in the midfield, and then he'd probably be able to get, like maybe even a Zorko out for Robbie Gray or Boomer Harvey.
Don't trade Zorko. That's rubbish.
I didn't do that.
I did it.
Yeah, I know you did. Harrison Colville's asking, trades to do this week, Shenton to Kirsten and Dex to Robbie Gray. Moved Martin into the ruck bench so I could do this. I don't like Shenton to Kirsten. 1, because Shenton could still go up in price. 2, because Kirsten's only played the 1 game. And yeah, so I'd wait a week before doing that unless you really need the money to do this Derek's to Robbie Gray trade with moving Martin. But Martin onto the ruck bench, I mean, the way he's scoring now, you want him on the field. I mean, fine if you... Yeah, no, I don't like that. I need Stephen Martin on the field if I have him in my side, which I don't, but in your case, you'd want Stephen Martin playing, surely.
The only consideration there is Robbie Gray's break even for this week. Other than that, I reckon, definitely leave it to next week. So if it comes up, find out Robbie Gray's break even. Is 146, so no, definitely wait till next week because the likelihood of him scoring that, according to Supercoach Gold, is 0.71%. So definitely wait till next week. Robbie Gray will be cheaper, and as you said, who was it? Shenton
Kirsten
will be.
Kirsten. Kirsten will
Kirsten won't
be
move.
played 2 games.
Worth more. Robbie Gray will be worth less.
Yeah.
Easy
Yeah.
decision.
Make
Yeah.
make
I mean, you can do like, what could you do this week? You could.
Oh, what's happening with Joyce?
We've lost Joyce now, haven't we?
Oh, jeez. Well, I guess.
Wait, where is he? Ah, he's coming back. I don't know what's happening. There he is. He's back again.
Oh, I'm back again. Is it live still? I think it is.
Yep.
I have no idea what happened. Yeah, basically all I was saying is maybe downgrade Derek's this week to just like anyone, like a bargain basement ruck, just for the money, and then the week after you can do Shenton to Gray or something like that, just for the money, you know.
Yeah.
But that's just me. And last but not least, Sean Wilson, trade Langdon or Langford. Well, Langford's not playing. Langdon is. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. Unless you think Langford could come back in, and because of Langdon's bad score last week, he'd likely go down in price. So maybe you might want to, you know, make use of his higher price now.
Is it just me, or did Langdon get injured?
He did.
Is that what I was hearing? Langdon?
He got concussed.
Yeah, so...
Someone, the next question, Jack Daly just posted there. He said Simpson is projected to go down 40k, whereas Langdon is projected to go down 30k. So yeah, if you want to really, well, it depends. Is he upgrading Langdon? I assume so. He wouldn't be downgrading him. So this week is probably the week to do it. Yeah. Whereas as you said, Langford isn't playing, so his price isn't going to move. So yeah, I'd probably opt to trade out Langdon now because I don't know what his break even is, but I assume it's pretty high, and he won't be able to reach it. So I'd opt to upgrade Langdon this week, depending really on who he's getting in. But we've gone through a whole host of smokies and point of differences that you can opt for. So
Yeah, I'd go Shaw instead of Simpson only. Langdon to Shaw would be good. That's what I did last week, so it worked really well. But that's about all for this week. Just quickly go over the what was it? The teams for Sunday, the final Sunday teams, things that are relevant. Griffin's out, Honeychurch is in. Nothing from them. Jarman Impey's back in, and Mark Murphy's back in, and Blaine Johnson as well. So have a look out for Blaine Johnson playing for Carlton. So yeah, it might be a downgrade option in a few weeks. But that's about all from us. See you next week. And Rejoice will be back on Monday because I'm done exams. So yeah, that'll be
back with us in the studio or in Bar 94. So
that's right. Yeah, next week I'll be there live in Melbourne. So fun times. All right, I'll catch you guys next week. With you.
Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll catch you next week.
Yeah. See ya.
See ya.
See you.